So what are you doing to take care of your heart this month? We're dedicating the whole month to you and your heart health because it is American Heart Month and heart disease is the #1 killer globally. But there's something that we can do about it. And one big step is to move more. Today, I'm continuing my discussion with health and fitness expert Lori Corbin. Last week, we began our discussion in part 1 of how to get your heart pumping with trend-setting exercise and fitness equipment and ideas to keep you moving and shaking and grooving. And today, we're going to continue that discussion. Lots of great food for thought. And hey, listen, if you're the kind of person who says, I don't like to work out, this is especially for you because guess what? It's not working, it's playing. And as adults, I think we all need an excuse to play more. Can I get an amen? So hope you enjoy this episode. Make sure you listen. Make sure you share it with other people who don't like to work out either. And let's all get moving for heart's sake. Hi, I'm Maria, otherwise known as the Fit Foodie. I'm a chef, holistic nutritionist, author, inventor, and mom. And I want to welcome you to my podcast. It's called Recipes for Your Best Life. And with every episode, I'm peeling back the onion on fitness, nutrition, health, wellness, and family. The truth is, you're the chef of your life. And for every important pillar, there's a great recipe worth sharing. So every week, we'll explore them together. Think of it as food for thought that you can really sink your teeth into. So join me, and let's squeeze the joy out of this life. Because you only get one. Can I get a fork, yeah?
Are there any other trends that you're seeing for 2021 that you think are worth chatting about?
There's one that always makes me laugh because the American College of Sports Medicine is not a hip group of people. They're kind of the eggheads of fitness, but I appreciated that about them because they've got some good data. But they about a decade ago, they launched this kind of protocol or message to the country that exercise as medicine should be implemented. And it is now in the top 10, finally, probably because doctors are doing virtuals with their patients and truly asking them how they are and having the time to do it. Because I think they have to allow 30 minutes for these in-home visits. But when a doctor can actually prescribe to you that you need this, then it's not a fear thing, but more like, that means they too are more informed. I mean, we think physicians should know this stuff, but I'm stunned when you go to Western medicine and you have someone says, oh, there's a pill for that. Well, the responsibility, obviously you're calling a physician because you need something, but boy, if you can take your health into your hands. This is kind of something that appears to be happening where both physicians and, people are understanding that the movement, there's rarely a wrong to movement. So in other words, ask almost any health professional what would be one of the best pills you could give somebody. It'd be the exercise pill. It does so much for us, whether it be glowing skin or better sleep or reducing stress or increasing muscle mass, therefore increasing bone density, circulation, digestion. I mean, come on. So, wow, we know it's good. So how can we move to make ourselves happy? It's figuring out whether it's dancing, even yoga. I've kind of upped my yoga game this year, obviously because of COVID, and the Nike training app is absolutely free and they have really good yoga people. And you can't believe, well, you probably can because you do yoga. It is a very strong workout. You get really warm. You really increased your breathing, your circulation. It's really done, I think, a lot for me, and obviously reducing stress levels, which is great. Exercise as medicine was sort of one of the others. And then, another one that would be also a nice surprise is that there are more older adult programming on the market. And probably this is done obviously through streaming and stuff because of COVID. And I have to say that's great because generally in fitness and being an aerobic instructor for 30 years, I can tell you our world was the fit just got fitter. If somebody came to class and they couldn't keep up, of course you're going to give them an alternative, but we really didn't create the class for them, which was super sad. We created it for us to just be better, and we all enjoyed the heck out of it. But, that poor person that came in, kind of like when CrossFit was huge, all these CrossFit injuries because people that sat at a desk all day that were maybe 20, 30 pounds overweight, trying to do these pull-ups and box jumps and things that bodies were not ready for, which was a huge disservice in the fitness industry. So I love reading that there's more and more now for people who are seniors. So we're all heading there, but I'm thinking if depending on when somebody started their fitness, they might be super fit when they're older. So it's not like they have to go do a sit and be fit, but there are some, when I say rules and regulations, there are some things that we know about people when they're older that, you don't do 49 combinations in your moves. You try to break it down to just 1 and 2 or 2 to 4, keep it a little more simple. You focus more on balance and hip strength and ankle mobility, things that are going to keep them functioning as they get older. So I think those things are huge. So I'm happy to see that.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I think no matter what the age is, I think we could all take a cue from that because there is certainly data that shows like high impact, like hardcore running is hard on your joints. It's hard on your heart. It's not just for an older set. Like I think everybody can take heed of that. And we're all created differently. So what might work and really adequately get your heart rate going is different for everyone. But I will say this, and I hope that we will see this, is that exercise is not a substitute for poor eating. You just can't undo it. You can't, I know it's cliche now, but you really can't out-train a bad diet because once you've eaten the food, it's information. It's not just a calorie anymore. And it's been processed by your body to either help or hurt potentially. So I think we really have to use exercise for what it is, for helping to enhance your cardiovascular well-being, your joints, your muscles, your headspace, your breathing, but also what it's not supposed to do.
Oh, I agree. I think I talked to a sports dietitian her name is Becky Twombly. She is a dietitian for the Lakers and Angels. Obviously, she's working with people in their, 20s pretty much. And, she would say, these guys have all kinds of energy and they obviously want to eat for their sport, but they're very quick to be able to reach for something not good for them because they know they can. Mm. And that's kind of the beauty of being young and having a terrific immune system, but you always want to be supportive. And I think now, more than ever, now that in the old days, it was just kind of the coach's table and they put the steak down, Yeah. But so now they're smart enough and they have people that are tailoring their programs, for their individual needs, which is cool. And one of those things which is really cool was, I don't know if we talked about tart cherries, the Montmorency cherry from Washington. I think there's been ample studies on this. The cherries have been shown to reduce inflammation in such degrees that the reason they found out it worked was there were all these cherry trees near this senior community where people were either like in bed or they were out walking, like they were all ambulatory. And, but they noticed that people they would walk around obviously, and they would eat these cherries with such regularity that people stopped reaching for their ibuprofen and their Advils and their NSAIDs and whatever, which was just hilarious. So it was anecdotal first. And then when they tested the cherries, sure enough, it has a component like anthocyanin, which is a plant chemical that helped reduce inflammation in the body, which I thought was just A, hysterical, and B, fabulous, because it wasn't done in the lab. It was something where, a community actually discovered this. So I thought that was kind of fun. But that's, just one of the many things. You're right. Food, spices, there's so many cool things we're finding out about food these days. And even weird food can be such good food that it's wonderful that, people are finding, like, I think in your trends, you were talking about green banana flour. Mm-hmm. And I love, resistant starches. That's something that it would never occur to them to go, oh, I'm going to eat a banana when it's not quite ripe, or I'm going to cook a potato and then cool it and eat it tomorrow in a potato salad. And I'm going to reduce the amount of carbohydrate load. I love that. That's fascinating.
Yeah. The hacks and the tips. And I'll share with you, I was moderating the Sustainable Food Summit earlier this week, and a very, very smart gentleman by the name of Jim Flatt, I'm going to give him a shout out. He founded a company called Brightseed, and they're doing some pretty amazing work in the realm of identifying active antioxidants and active material, basically, in plant life, to the point where we only know, maybe about 100,000 active ingredients in plants. Through AI, they are able to detect 1,000 times that.
I love that. I love this.
So and then they're applying that to food and partnering with major food companies to be able to implement, some of these identified molecules and bolster our food with it, which is just like mind blowing, but so cool. So really the functionality of food and what the plant kingdom gives us, we're about to discover a whole new level. Like, it's next level.
I love that. And it's obviously coming at a time where people, I think everyone gets now the messages. We all, no matter what plan we're on, should be eating more plants. But that could be nuts. That could be seeds, that could be weird flowers, as like I think is it the Cinchonicha or whatever that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, the plantain flower. There's just all sorts of, kind of at a time where we're saying, well, we've got food insecurity issues, but if we can kind of, utilize some of the things we never knew we would be eating anyway, this could be really revolutionary, which is great. So I love that. And I think obviously plants, when people say, oh, I just don't want lettuce or I don't want broccoli, there's so much more out there now. Even the kind of the weird stuff that you and I probably have looked at, like the mushroom community, the medicinal mushroom community and the benefits by just having some in your coffee or your hot chocolate or, whatever. I think that's kind of a fun thing to look at as well.
Yeah. And they, one of the speakers actually identified an alternative to bacon that they've created using oyster mushrooms, where they're mimicking, it's kind of like the next phase of plant-based burgers, if you will, or plant-based protein, is all of these different things that you can do to mimic the things that we tend to lean on that aren't so great for us. So you'll see that on the horizon, mushrooms as bacon, and you'll see a plant-based shrimp coming up. And that is made from algae, from seaweed. So lots of cool innovations on the horizon when it comes to alternatives to, to animal protein.
Yeah. The space of the veggie burger, the thing that I still don't get is, and I understand it's probably cost. So many people, when they want these foods, they're willing to pay a little more for them. But the burgers that we have now, the meat analogs we have now, are just processed so badly that I'm so stunned by it, because I'm thinking, I'm sure it would cost more if you used avocado oil or even algae oil, instead of canola or whatever else you're using. And I'm sure they are doing their best. I would say on that one, I would love to have a really good plant-based burger that I'm not having to make myself. You know what I mean? I'm sure we're going to have to pay a little bit more. But then again, everybody will jump on the bandwagon, which would be great. When we think about some of the things that we've had come down the pike that were healthy, let's take soy, for example. Once, I don't know if it was just America or a global community, but once we've decided there's an ingredient in a plant, like an isoflavone, that we enjoy or we think is good for us, then we prostitute it. We put it, we break it down, we extract it, we double, triple it, we put it in everything. And then we realize that it was really found in nature. The way it was found in nature is where the benefit resides. So I think that's the thing that I hope the food manufacturers are being cautious of.
Yeah. And it's a fact that as omnivores, we're always looking for different things, right? We're looking for innovation. We're looking for new things. But you know what? You don't have to necessarily eat the bacon that's made with mushroom. You can go and just buy the mushrooms,
Right.
You don't have to eat the thing that has 10, 12, 20, 30 different ingredients in it. You could just eat the beans. So
Absolutely.
I think the more we, and I really do think that this applies to all aspects of health. If we can embrace the simple, then the other stuff is more of a treat. If we can understand how to